Well, now tonight's special assignment. Some stories and some people stick with you forever.
And you're about to meet one of those people. He's a UWM student and so much more. Here's Jesse Garcia.
And talk to me about how that grid might be manipulated.
At UWM's School of Architecture, Jonathan Hyder listens to instructions and turns to work at his computer. Jonathan looks like anyone else, right? Look again. He has no arms and no legs.
I'm just a congenital quad amputee, so I was born this way, and nobody knows why.
Hyder is a native of Croatia. He was given up at birth by young, financially struggling parents and lived in an orphanage until the age of 16 months when a Green Bay family adopted him.
They got a phone call, one day saying, "There's a child here in an orphanage, no arms, no legs, do you want him?"
The Hyders already had 3 children without disabilities, but said yes immediately. As Jonathan grew, they would drive 3 hours each way to Chicago on weekends so he could participate in sports.
I was always a high-energy kid growing up, always kind of bouncing around. And so, all my older siblings all had sports. I really did find who I was through athletics.
His favorite was swimming.
I like the beauty of it, just the non-restriction of just being new in the water.
He even trained for the U.S. Paralympic team, but in the end gave it up for college. Jonathan transferred from UW-Oshkosh to UWM to study architecture and real estate development.
My dream and aspiration in life is to open my own architecture firm.
Jonathan can do anything anyone else in the class can, from cutting balsa wood to building models to sketching. But he doesn't like being called inspiring.
I'm part of this generation that's very edgy, very forward with who we are and what we are about. And we don't do any of the sappy kind of stuff. We're just like everybody else.
And others see in him so many qualities that have nothing to do with physical limitations.
He's a very hard worker and he's very focused.
I was wondering how this class would go for him because traditionally in the beginning years of architecture school, there's just nonstop making. He doesn't make excuses for himself, and he holds himself to a very high standard.
Jonathan is a motivational speaker on the side and shares a message of optimism.
Yes, it would be easier to not have this situation, but at the same time, I don't regret it. Obstacles come in our way, and that horrific situations may happen to all of us in some way or another, but at the same time, we can get past them.
John feels he was born into the right time in history. Accommodations for those in wheelchairs are commonplace. And then there's the magic of technology. Through Facebook, he's recently been able to reconnect with his birth parents in Croatia.
Many people, I don't even have the fact of being able to have one loving family, and here I have 2 loving families. This is my opinion. Okay. What if we put the crescent moon inside of here?
Watching him work, watching him live. If you want to sum up Jonathan, consider that just last week he followed directly behind a snowplow to make sure he got to class on time.
That's how my life has been in general, of just taking that plowed path.
Out live now, Jonathan is a role model for his younger brother, who is also a quad amputee and was also adopted by Jonathan's Green Bay family. As for the future, Jonathan hopes to design buildings in both the United States and in Croatia. And he's also taking some lessons, Mike and Carol, in Croatian. He wants to learn more of the language so that he can communicate with his birth family. He's become very active in the Croatian Milwaukee community.
Wow, what a story. Does he ever use prosthetics?
That's a good question. He actually does have prosthetics for both the arms and the legs. He likes the ones for his legs sometimes, but says the arms are more of a nuisance than anything. One of his favorite phrases is, "I use what I've got," and clearly he does that very well.
Wow, a can-do attitude.
He's an amazing guy.
Great
so glad
story.
to meet him.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.